You are 42. It is 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. You are on the couch. You have been on the couch for 4 hours. You watched 4 episodes of a series. You didn't plan to watch 4. You planned to watch 1, maybe 2. But the next episode started automatically, and the one after that, and the one after that. And you didn't stop it, because stopping felt like more effort than continuing. Now it is 9 p.m., and on your nightstand there is a book. You bought it 6 weeks ago. Someone recommended it. You were excited about it. You have read 12 pages, not 12 pages tonight. 12 pages total in 6 weeks. You opened it on a Tuesday. You got through 4 pages before your phone buzzed. You got through 8 pages the following Sunday before you fell asleep. You got through 12 pages last Thursday before you put it down and opened Instagram instead. The book is still on the nightstand. The bookmark is on page 12. It has been on page 12 for 11 days. And tonight, you watched 4 hours of television without even trying. And the worst part? You feel guilty about the book. You don't feel guilty about the 4 hours. You feel guilty about the 12 pages. You're not lazy. You're not someone who doesn't value learning. You just never understood what Netflix did to your brain and what it costs you every single night. And there are 8 hacks that explain exactly what happened and fix all of it, starting tonight.
Hank hacks!
There's a guy Hank knows from work. Call him Alan. Alan reads every day, not for hours, 20 minutes before bed, no phone in the room, just a book. Alan has read 23 books this year. Hank has read 12 pages of one book in 6 weeks. Hank used to think Alan had something he didn't, some special relationship with discipline, some ability to focus that Hank was born without. He doesn't. Alan just knows 8 things Hank doesn't. Yet. The Hackmaster doesn't judge that. It just goes back to the exact moment each mistake was made, so Hank can finally see it and fix it. 42 years of books abandoned on nightstands. Let's go back to Tuesday night. Now, let's hit rewind. You are 42, and this Tuesday night is different. You don't know it yet, but hack number 1 is the reason you can watch 4 hours of anything and struggle to read 4 pages of everything. And it has nothing to do with intelligence and nothing to do with discipline. Hack number 1, the passive versus active attention trap. Here's what nobody told you about Netflix. Netflix was engineered for passive attention. Passive attention means your brain receives. It doesn't have to reach. It doesn't have to construct. It doesn't have to hold anything in memory while building on it. The images come to you. The sound comes to you. The story comes to you. Your brain sits back and receives. Reading is the opposite of this. Reading requires active attention. Your brain has to decode symbols into words, words into meaning, meaning into images, images into emotion, and hold all of it while adding the next sentence and the sentence after that. This is a skill, and like any skill, it gets stronger with use and weaker without it. Hank has spent 4 years watching more than reading. He didn't lose the ability to read. He lost the conditioning to sustain the active attention reading requires. He is not lazy. He is out of shape. In a very specific way, the fix is not willpower. The fix is recognizing that you are rebuilding a muscle that 4 years of passive consumption made soft. And muscles rebuild faster than you think. You don't know it yet. But hack number 2 explains why Netflix decides what you watch next and why that is the entire problem. Hack number 2, the autoplay machine. Netflix does one thing that books cannot do. It decides what comes next. The episode ends. The next one starts. You didn't choose it. You didn't have to choose it. You didn't have to do anything. You just had to not stop it. And not stopping something is always easier than starting something. This is called the path of least resistance, and Netflix was built entirely on it. Books cannot do this. When a chapter ends, The book waits. It does not start the next chapter for you. It does not play a preview of chapter 2. It does not give you 5 seconds to decide before it continues automatically. It waits. And waiting requires you to decide, to turn the page, to re-engage, to choose to continue. That choice, that single moment of deciding to continue, is where most reading sessions end. Not because the book is bad, not because you're not interested, because the book asked you to make a choice at the exact moment Netflix was designed to eliminate choice entirely. Hank finished a chapter. The book waited. He picked up his phone instead. Not because he chose the phone over the book, because the phone required no choice at all. The fix is to remove the decision from the transition. Before you sit down to read, you decide in advance exactly how many pages or minutes you will read. The transition is already made. There is no moment where the book waits and you choose. You already chose. You don't know it yet. But hack number 3 is the reason the first 5 minutes of reading feel like a physical effort, and the first 5 minutes of watching anything feel like nothing at all. Hack number 3, the dopamine speed problem. Netflix delivers dopamine every 8 minutes, sometimes less. An explosion, a revelation, a cliffhanger, a kiss, a betrayal. Something happens. Something always happens. And every time something happens, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine every 8 minutes, sometimes every 4. The brain learns to expect this. It learns the rhythm of the reward. And then you sit down with a book, and the book delivers its first real dopamine hit. Maybe at the end of the chapter, maybe at the end of the 3rd chapter, maybe not until page 60. And your brain, trained on 8-minute cycles, sits waiting for the reward, and the reward doesn't come. And the brain concludes nothing is happening here and starts looking for something that delivers faster. That's the phone in your hand on page 4. That's not distraction. That's your brain running its learned program. The fix is to understand that you are recalibrating a cycle, not fighting a character flaw. For the first 2 weeks of reading consistently, the brain will resist. It is not resisting the book. It is waiting for the 8-minute reward that never comes on this schedule. By week 3, the brain begins to adjust. The reward cycle stretches. The patience returns. The book starts delivering. You don't know it yet. But hack number 4 is the reason you sit down to read at exactly the wrong moment every single time. Hack number 4, the decision fatigue door. Your brain makes approximately 35,000 decisions per day, small ones, large ones, what to eat, what to say, what to respond, what to prioritize, what to ignore. By 9 p.m. on a Tuesday, your brain's decision-making capacity is nearly depleted. This is called decision fatigue, and Netflix was designed specifically for the brain at 9 p.m. 0 decisions required. Turn it on. It selects, it starts, it continues. It never asks you for anything. Your brain at 9 p.m. loves this completely. Books require decisions at 9 p.m. Which book? Where to start? How long to read? What to do when I don't understand something? Each one of these is a small door your depleted brain has to push open. And a brain at 9 p.m. after 35,000 decisions doesn't want to push any more doors. The fix is to remove all the doors before 9 p.m. The book is already on the couch, not the nightstand. The bookmark is already visible. The page is already open. The reading lamp is already set up. You don't choose the book at 9 p.m. You chose it at 7 p.m. when your brain still had capacity. The doors were opened before decision fatigue arrived. All your brain has to do at 9 p.m. is sit down. Alan doesn't choose his book at 11 p.m. lying in bed. He chose it Sunday morning. It has been on the arm of his reading chair since Monday. Every night it is already open. Every night there are 0 doors to push. He just sits down. You don't know it yet. But hack number 5 is the most invisible one because it doesn't feel like a barrier. It feels like a reasonable emotional response. Hack number 5, the guilt loop. Hank felt guilty about the book on the nightstand. Every night he looked at it. 12 pages, 6 weeks. The guilt was real. The problem is that guilt creates resistance, not motivation. When you look at the book and feel guilty, your brain associates the book with a negative feeling. Guilt, failure, evidence of a personal shortcoming. And your brain is very good at avoiding things associated with negative feelings. So the guilt designed to push you toward the book was actively pushing you away from it every night without you realizing. The fix is to remove the guilt entirely, not by lowering standards, by separating the book from the verdict. The book is not evidence of who you are. The book is just a book. You read when you read. You don't read when you don't. No verdict attached to either. Alan doesn't feel guilty about books he hasn't read. He just reads the one in front of him. The ones on the shelf are not a measure of his character. They're just books on a shelf, waiting without judgment. You don't know it yet. But hack number 6 is the reason the book you keep failing to read might simply be the wrong book. Hack number 6, the wrong format problem. Hank's book on the nightstand was recommended by someone at work. It was on a bestseller list. It had 4.8 stars on every platform. Hank opened it. He read 12 pages. He found it difficult to continue. He assumed the problem was him. It wasn't him. It was the book. Not because the book was bad, because the book was wrong for where Hank was right now. There are books that match your current state, your current energy, your current interest, your current reading conditioning. And there are books that don't. Forcing the wrong book is like starting your gym journey with the hardest possible workout on day 1. Technically possible, practically guaranteed to make you quit. The fix is to read what actually interests you right now, not what impresses people. Not what someone said you should read. Not the book that has been on your nightstand for 6 weeks making you feel guilty every night you don't open it. The book you can't wait to open. That book exists, and it requires 0 willpower to continue. Hank put the bestseller on the shelf. He picked up a book about something he had genuinely been curious about for years. He read 40 pages that first night, without noticing the time. You don't know it yet. But hack number 7 explains why Alan reads 20 books a year and never once describes himself as someone who loves to read. He just reads. Hack number 7, the identity misalignment. Most people who want to read more think of reading as something that readers do, and readers are a type of person, a disciplined person, a patient person, an intellectual person. And since Hank doesn't currently feel like that type of person, reading feels like something he has to become before he can do. This is backwards. You don't become a reader by developing reader personality traits. You become a reader by reading. Starting tonight, with whatever is in front of you, even if it's a magazine, even if it's 12 pages, even if it's something nobody would put on a recommendation list. Alan doesn't describe himself as a reader. He describes himself as someone who reads 20 minutes before bed. It's not an identity. It's a behavior, a small specific behavior that he does every single night, without needing to feel like a particular type of person first. You don't know it yet, but hack number 8 is the same one that fixed the gym in episode 5 and the projects in episode 3, but this time it opens the book. Hack number 8, the 2-page rule. Your brain cannot generate significant resistance against 2 pages. 2 pages is too small to fight. 2 pages takes less than 3 minutes. Your brain will not mobilize its full avoidance mechanism against something that ends in 3 minutes. So that's the rule. 2 pages every night, before the TV turns on, before the phone comes out, before any decision gets made about whether you feel like reading. 2 pages first, then whatever you want. That's the deal. Hank started with 2 pages on a Wednesday. He read 14. Not because he planned to, because starting was the only barrier, and 2 pages dissolved the barrier completely. The book on the nightstand had been waiting for 6 weeks. Not because Hank wasn't capable of reading it, because he kept trying to start from a standing stop at exactly the wrong moment, with exactly the wrong conditions, carrying exactly the wrong amount of guilt about not having started yet. 2 pages. That's the entire fix. You are 42. It is Tuesday night. The couch is still there. The series is still there. But this time, the book is on the arm of the couch, not the nightstand. It has been there since 7 p.m., already open, already waiting. You read 2 pages before you turn anything on. You read 14. You don't feel guilty about the 4 hours you didn't read. You feel something else. You feel like someone who reads. Alan nods from across the office the next day. He doesn't say anything. He just nods. He knows. That's what 42 years of books on nightstands finally taught Hank. You don't have to wait that long. Here's your complete list. 1. The passive versus active attention trap. You're not lazy. You are deconditioned. Reading is a muscle. Start rebuilding it. 2. The autoplay machine. Netflix eliminates choice. Books require it. Decide in advance how long you'll read. Remove the transition moment. 3. The dopamine speed problem. Your brain expects a reward every 8 minutes. Books don't work on that schedule. The recalibration takes 2 weeks. After that, the book delivers. 4. The decision fatigue door. Don't choose your book at 9 p.m. Choose it at 7 p.m. Set it up before your brain runs out of capacity. 5. The guilt loop. Guilt creates resistance, not motivation. The book is not a verdict on your character. It's just a book. 6. The wrong format problem. Read what actually interests you, not what impresses people. The right book requires 0 willpower. 7. The identity misalignment. You don't need to become a reader. You need to read 2 pages tonight. That's it. 8. The 2-page rule. 2 pages before anything else, every night. The barrier dissolves. You almost never stop at 2. That's it. That's the whole list. Hank did it. You can do it. He has a nightstand with a book on page 12 that he bought 6 weeks ago. So there's hope for everyone. If Hank can finally get past page 12, you can do it too. Subscribe. New hacks every single week. The Hack Master is waiting.
Hank hacks!